Okay, I believe we're live. Hey everyone, Ethan here. I don't know if I'll ever get through that without my voice cracking some way, shape, or form. Welcome back to recreating Pokemon Yellow sprites in Minecraft. Last time we did both the Meowth and Psyduck lines. Well, could have been better. I think I had like 3 big mistakes or something like that, but hopefully today's a different day. It's a new day. So we got the Mankey line and the Growlithe line this time. Didn't know this until shortly before starting when I was setting up the starting areas, but Mankey, Primeape, and Growlithe all are using the same color scheme, being brown concrete and orange terracotta. And then Arcanine will be using the typical fire type color scheme of red concrete and orange concrete. Without further ado, let's get started. I do have some things I want to go over though. But I'll get to that once I'm in this a little bit. So for Mankey, we're going to be starting on the bottom right just because its foot is so close at the bottom. I am going to zoom in a little bit just so I don't have to strain my eyes. Okay. Got the Mario Kart World soundtrack playing again. I'm honestly probably just going to let this thing play until there's no tracks left, which I think this it's like a total of 7 hours and I'm only like 3 hours in. So it's expect Mario Kart music for the next several streams. Besides that though, the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is that the past couple times I've been discussing, depending on what Pokemon I've been working on, you know, if I've used them on a team in the past and how I feel about them and everything. Well, I actually started to go back and look at some of the teams I've used in the past. Some are verifiable, some are not. Some of the ones that are verifiable I haven't like fully looked at yet. But I did look at a couple of them, and I was kind of surprised. I think I said in the past that I wasn't sure if I had ever used the Clefable, and I actually thought that I didn't. Well, I did. I used it in my Let's Go Pikachu playthrough, and I actually know that full team now. So that was Wigglytuff, Clefable, Venomoth, Hitmonchan, Haunter, and Seadra. So an interesting team, but honestly, I remember it working out pretty well. Like I said, I know there's some overlap between Wigglytuff and Clefable, both being fairy, but at least, you know, Wigglytuff is like part normal. And I also think that Wigglytuff was more oriented around attack, while Clefable was special. So yeah, so they had their differences. There were some other ones though that I found interesting. I was able to go back and look at the Pokemon I used in my playthrough of Blue back when that came out in the Virtual Console, and it turns out that I had used a Sandslash. I honestly had no recollection of using a Sandslash, but I went and looked in my copy of Ultra Sun, where I transferred all my Pokemon from that playthrough, and yeah, it was there. It said it was from the Kanto region. It had the little symbol and everything, so I wish I could give a good recollection on how it was, but like I said, I don't remember using it at all whatsoever. But I'm honestly like looking at those teams. I was honestly kind of like pleasantly surprised with my diversity. I think in a way it was like I was forcing myself to do that a bit because I had my list of like Pokemon that I've gotten to level 100, and I had like a decent amount of the fully evolved ones, or like the more popular fully evolved ones. So it's like a lot of the Pokemon I hadn't done were more niche Pokemon. So that's why all these teams are, I guess, interesting. But another example is my gold team that I also use for Virtual Console. I'm going to move my view just a little bit so I can see the rest of the foot. So that like I have like basically no recollection of this gold team like at all. But if I remember correctly, I have it written down somewhere, but it was Noctowl, Slowbro, Tangela, Piloswine, I'm trying to remember the last two, honestly. I already got the fighting type. Victreebel? I think I used Victreebel on that team. Yeah. Wait, no, because I already used Tangela. Because I think Victreebel was actually my crystal team. I honestly can't remember the last two. Oh, Weezing? And I'm blanking on the last one right now. But it's just like Pokemon that like I don't remember ever using a Piloswine. But I guess I did. So I mean, it's just kind of weird that I've used I've had more exotic teams in the past that I don't remember. It is kind of weird because I remember like my first playthrough teams of certain games a lot better. Like I'll always remember like the team that I brought through like just like Sun or Ultra Sun or Shield or I mean I guess not Let's Go Pikachu, considering that it was hard for me to remember most of them. But even I remember like the first ever like kind of like structured team I did was Platinum. I did all three starters. Like I traded two of them in. So I did Torterra, Infernape, and Empoleon. Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. Okay. And then I had Staraptor, Bibarel, and Machamp. Which is like, that's such an odd team, in my opinion. Oh my god, I gotta clear my throat, I'm sorry. Okay, we should be good now. But how far away should this be? Okay, this should get to be a point to where it's 1 away. Just getting nervous here. Yeah, okay, so that's correct. Like that's a really odd team in my opinion, but it's like pretty well balanced type wise, and that like I did that in 2009 when I was 9 years old. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. I think I kind of dropped the ball when when like Black and White came out, because I don't remember my team for White, but like I kind of tried to go into it like getting a team together. Like I chose Snivy. I think I tried to train up an Unpheasant. I tried to train up like a Lillipup. I know I'm jumping around on like the evolution stages. I wanted a Seismitoad. I wanted an Emolga. And the only Pokemon that I ever ended up actually getting were I got Serperior and I got Emolga. And that was it. And I got Emolga. I remember searching for it in the wild, and I could never find it. So I eventually did the in-game trade for Mini Pete, the Emolga, which, like, I remember not liking that it was nicknamed at the time. Now I kind of do like it. I guess I've kind of changed in that regard. Also, I realized that this is not filled in up to here. Yeah, that should be like that. But I mean, at the very least, like I took like 2 members through. I remember like Seismitoad actually got pretty far. Like I got it to like I think the 40s or something like that. But at some point, it just like fell too far behind for me to like care. I think Lillipup I only ever got to like Herdier, and I think I got a P-Dove to a Tranquil. And I think that was it. Okay, there's like a mini M right here, and then there's 2 right there. Okay. But yeah, I think what's funny is I got on release of Black and White, I got I got both versions, and I played through both of them, like, basically back to back. I played through white first, and then black. And there's only supposed to be 3 here. Did I just not go far enough? Is this not lined up properly? No, it's not lined up properly. That should be like that. And then this should be 4. Yeah, okay. Cool. All this down here is filled in with white. That's just air. Okay. Let's move the view up so I could see everything else. Actually, I kind of want to line everything down here before I actually do go up. Which I think it's pretty straightforward. I actually think that's like basically it. Because I already did this. I already did that. Okay. So now we can start working our way up. But in my black playthrough right after that, I remember I kind of like actually use like a more structured team. I'm like kind of in the process of trying to remember the exact Pokemon. Thankfully, I think I could go back and look because I'm pretty sure I still have that save. So I could just look at my Hall of Fame data. But I believe it was Emboar, Samurott, Leavanny, and Crocodile were like my main 4. I don't know if I used the full team of 6, but those are like the ones that I remember. Yeah, I kind of feel like I didn't use a full team. I really don't know though, but I'm excited to find out. Yeah. And then I would like to piece together my Heart Gold and Soul Silver teams, but I know that that's going to probably be impossible or next to impossible because I think for both versions I've since like restarted the files and have either done full playthroughs or attempted to. So that's a shame, but I might be able to like I keep all my Pokemon though, like that I've used over the years, so it's like I might be able to piece it together, but the likelihood is low. I think what I do remember at least is I remember using, I think in Heart Gold I used Typhlosion, and I also used an Ampharos, and then I think in Soul Silver I used a Meganium. Besides that, I have no idea. I'm gonna say this, I almost certainly did not use full teams either time. Because even just kind of thinking about it, like I'm trying to think of like what Pokemon I would have used, and I can't come up with anything. Like I know like I would have liked to use Ampharos, which is why like I can remember it, but like I can't think of anything else. It's possible that I used the red Gyarados, but I don't even think so. Because another thing I tried to do as a kid was I tried to get all my Pokemon to level 100 one way or another. So chances are, if I still have the Pokemon, they're level 100. But I don't think I have any level 100 red Gyarados. So. I've kind of slowed down on shiny hunting a bit. The past 2 days I've gotten 1 shiny a day just because I've had like a couple minutes and I've gotten lucky enough to find one in that short amount of time. Yesterday I got an Illumise in Kitakami, which I did already have one from Pokemon Go, like from years ago, but I kind of like, I don't want to sound, I don't even know what word you'd want to use for this, but I'm not a huge fan of the Go stamp that you get, like from Pokemon that you transfer in from Go. Like, to me, it's just like, I don't know, it kind of feels like a badge of dishonor in a way. And I know there's like a whole discourse around like, you know, like what shinies should actually like be considered like legitimate or whatever, or like, you know, shinies that actually matter. And you'll find some people who don't consider ghost shinies, some people who only consider ghost shinies, some people only consider like pre-gen 3, like stuff like that. For me, like, I kind of just, I don't really want shinies from Go, so it's like if I could ever replace a shiny that I only have from Go with something from one of the mainline games, then I'll do that. But otherwise, I'll still like count the shinies I have. Like, I guess probably the rarest shiny I have from Go is Celebi from like it's like from one of the research things from however many years ago. And that, like, the only ways to get shiny Celebi, I think, is either from Go or from shiny hunting it in Crystal Virtual Console. And it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't see myself ever wanting to do that, honestly. I'm kind of the opinion that, like, I understand people that want shinies to be like super duper rare, so that they could be like kind of like this big kind of trophy. At the same time though, I think that it should be the case where if someone wants to get one of every shiny, and they like invest hours into it, like they should kind of get to reap that reward. Oh, come on. I think I avoided it last time, but is what it is. But this actually goes up too high. I don't know how far that goes up, but like, in my opinion, like I feel like I put like a fair amount of hours into shiny hunting. I don't know how many. I'm gonna say like tens, maybe even hundreds at this point, but I'm probably closer to tens, right? And it's like I have a fair amount of shinies to my name because I've been mainly hunting in games where, you know, it's like are considered like the easiest, you know, Legends Arceus, Scarlet, and even like a little bit of Ultra Sun. Why am I just filling in stuff? Like, I need to stop just like autopilot filling stuff in. Because that goes down there like that and everything. But I have, at this point, like, I have like a good amount of shinies, a good amount of unique shinies, but I am like, I'm not even 50% of the way done, or like 50% of the way there to having one unique, like, of every like shiny in the Pokedex. And when I say like one of every shiny, I mean like one of each species and one of each regional form. Like, I'm not going too crazy, at least as of right now, with like is this actually okay? This is 3 deep, right? And then this should actually be like that. And yeah, this should be 3 and that should be 2. Okay. Just making sure. But yeah, I'm not doing anything like crazy, like trying to get all like 50 or whatever alchemy forms or anything like that. But while I have a lot, I also haven't done like the more difficult ones, and I understand like why like Pokemon like legendaries are difficult, because I can agree that like there are some shiny Pokemon, or like some Pokemon that should be more difficult to get as shinies. Is this right? Like, you look at it, you look at Mankey's eyes up close, and it just like looks like a complete mess. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'll put a pin in that for now, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is Mankey done with. Honestly, a pretty smooth and steady Pokemon. I shouldn't say like the Pokemon itself, but I mean like the process of, you know, getting it done. No real mistakes or anything like that. It looks solid, looks very close to its original. And with that, that is our, what's that? That's Pokemon number, I can't see the number. I think it's like I'm past 50, I know that. So 56, I think. Pokemon number 56, so that's what? 6 rows done? 6 rows? Yeah. 7? 7 rows. 7 rows of Pokemon. I'm sorry, I can't do math right now. 7 rows of Pokemon completed. I have no idea. You know what? I'll check how many rows we have remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's it. Okay. 12 more rows. So 7 down, 12 to go. Kind of checks out with the whole, like, being, like, 1/3 done. So, yeah. And then the bottom row isn't a full row, but it almost is. It's just shy of 1. So, yeah. Either way, let's get this overlay changed over to my man Primeape. Pokemon number 57. Which is kind of crazy that I've done 56 of these. And then for the next 2 Pokemon, we're going to be starting in the bottom left. And then for Arcanine, we'll do bottom right. So, Primeape. I've only ever used it a single time. And that time was for my playthrough of Yellow for this channel. I used it in Gen 1, so, you know, it's like a Gen 1 fighting type is like not great. Oh, I just realized I can't see my chat. It's not great, but at the same time, I don't remember it being bad. I mean, it was kind of like overshadowed, if anything, by like probably every single other member of the team. Because it's like, if you go back and you look at that team, it's like the other Pokemon were Charizard, Lapras, Snorlax, like just like huge heavy hitters that are like revered as being like really solid. And not that Primeape isn't, but just comparatively. Oh, also Nidoking, like the literal king of like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. So there's that. And there wasn't a single time where I owned a Mankey and didn't own a Nidoran male. So I remember it being pretty solid though. I mean, it was an answer against normal types. I think I even was able to teach it Rock Slide. I don't fully remember. But that sounds right. I feel like it should be able to learn Rock Slide even in Gen 1. Because I think other fighting types like Machamp and well, maybe Hitmonlee can. I don't know about Hitmonchan. And here I am working up when I should be finishing up the foot, but I'm just kind of going. But yeah, I remember being pretty decent. It's kind of weird because in my head, I still kind of just like, I still mostly consider Primeape fully evolved, but I think my brain is like starting to change that to where it's starting to recognize what's going on here. What is going on here? Oh, this comes out too, that's why. Okay. But I think my brain is slowly starting to change where it's like sometimes I see Primeape and I'm like, oh, that's a 2-stage. Like that's not fully evolved because of Annihilate. Which I think Annihilate is pretty cool. I care about it probably as much as I care about Primeape, which is to say like it's alright. Like I don't have much else to say about it besides that. Like I don't love it, I don't hate it. I used it, so I feel like that's like gotta be like at least a badge of honor in my book, because especially with these playthroughs and you know not like really repeating a Pokemon, using a Pokemon, aka like choosing it over several others, especially more and more as we go on. Like the fact that I did use it is good. I will say this though, which I don't know if it means that I wouldn't have used Primeape, but I didn't know. I think I mentioned this one of the most recent streams. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But the fact that you can get a Machamp in yellow without having to trade, like there's like an in-game trade for it. I didn't know that, and I probably would have used that Machamp over Primeape. Although that means that I likely would have used Primeape on a different team, likely being blue, if I knew like all this going into it, like into my first video, I should say. But even so though, like I'm not even sure about that fact, because I thought that my blue team, or I'm sorry, I say blue, but it was I played red, was like decently solid, but probably at this point it's still like my least favorite, just because like I'm not like super attached to any of the Pokemon on it. What was it? It was Blastoise, Aerodactyl, Electrode. Am I working here? Am I actually over here? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not like doing a part from a different part. Blastoise, Aerodactyl, Electrode, Exeggutor, and I can't. Oh, Arbok. I think that's all 6. Yeah, I've always wanted to use an Arbok, so it's like I wouldn't have wanted to give it the boot. I was interested in using Electrode. I mean, maybe I could have booted it like further down the line in like a Hoenn game, because I know Hoenn like doesn't have a lot of electric types, especially ones that I like. Like there's the Magnemite line, obviously, but like I'm using Magneton and Crystal, and then I'm gonna use Magnezone later. And then, like, I don't care too much for Manectric. Electrode, like I said, I already use them red. And then there's +1 Minun, like I'm not using them. And then I think that's it. Oh, I guess there's the Lantern line, but the issue is that whoa. Hold on. Hold up a second. Something's not right. No, why did I do that? That sucks. Okay, so I messed up from the very first block. I messed up before I even started this, because this is supposed to be up 1. Okay, not a big deal, because I can clone. I could do the cloning command. I could do that, and I could essentially just move it up 1. I gotta remember how to use the cloning command, because it's been a little while. But I'm gonna place a block right here. What is it? It's /clone. And you get from here to the top left of it, which should be here. Okay. And now it wants the destination. So I'm going to chuck it down here. Chuck it right there. Oh, okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't realize it would start from the top left. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I will fix that later. There, it should put it there, like where I wanted it to. Okay, this is fine. Because I'm gonna get rid of all this. You know, it's funny, I think like I had the sea lanterns in my inventory for the longest time. And then I think like 2 or 3 streams ago, I finally got rid of him because I'm like, what's the point? Like, the entire border's done. I don't know why I'm not just slash clearing this. Fill. I'm sorry, I'm not good at Minecraft commands. And then... Okay. Much better. And then I'll just fill this in. Oops. Okay. That glass breaking sound, like, actually kind of triggered me a little bit, but it's okay. And I'll just fill in the gaps when I go. Okay. Now, we have this, right? We have it. We're gonna need... It basically just needs to be up 1. So that means it's going to go right here. So, here's what I do. I clear this, right? Okay. And now I clone here, here, and then I put this coordinate. Okay. And now I should be 2 off the ground. Theoretically, everything should be fine now. Theoretically. Let's see. 3 up. This should be 1 away from the ground. Lovely. Okay. I didn't panic. Okay. I may have panicked a little bit at first because I forgot what to do and thought that I was going to have to just destroy the entire thing and do it again. But I'm really glad I know that command. Because now we're back on track. I didn't technically have to break any blocks by hand. I did mess up the cloning thing over there. Oh, I should probably clear this. That'd probably be a good idea. Fill. Air. Okay, now we're good. Thank you to... I think that's Alakazam. So thank you to the eventual Alakazam for that. Also, I realized that there's supposed to be 2 blocks there. Okay. Let's get back down here. We're working our way up. I don't even remember what point I was making at the time. I was talking about Hoenn electric types. Yeah. I was talking... Oh, yeah, okay. So the last thing I mentioned, I think, was the Lantern line. But the issue with Hoenn is that it has a lot of water types already that I am interested in using. So Lantern, unfortunately, is like... I don't want to double up on types. Like, I guess if you're going to double up on a water type, having a water electric type is, like... not a bad option. But... meh. I mean, I guess it's something always to consider. Basically, my teams are subject to change basically until I start the playthrough. I mean, more so like until like I make the previous video about it. I think that's probably when I lock it in. Is that all correct? I think that's all correct. But yeah, I think there were a couple teams that made some late changes. Like, I think my Let's Go team, I was originally going to use an Alolan Raichu, and then I realized that you couldn't nickname it. Because originally that was going to be kind of like my, like, quote-unquote starter. But yeah, and then I realized you couldn't nickname it. So I ended up going with, I think also like I wasn't originally going to use Doug Trio. I can't remember though. Because, like, sometimes I change it based on, like, realizing what availability's like, and then other times I change it, because I initially just kind of, like, I initially planned out the teams of, like, what do I want to use, and then, like, later I'll go in and be like, okay, like, can I actually use these? And sometimes it's like, no, like, this is, like, not catchable in this version, or, like, it's not catchable until, like, really late or post-game or something. Like, my Gen 2 teams have actually gone through a lot of changes just, like, before this playthrough I did of Silver, where I'm going to move my view so I could see a bit better. Okay, so I'm getting onto, like, the glove. Where am I? Okay, I see where I am. It should be black right here, right? Yeah, okay. And then, so I think my actual silver team, actually my silver team did change at some points. I don't remember what it originally was, but I don't think it was supposed to have Magneton on it. And then eventually it was added, I guess. So yeah, I don't remember all the changes that happened, but at some point or another, I've probably, like, every team that I think I planned out has changed in some way. Wow, that was crazy though. I'm just glad that it seems like everything is back on track. I'm eagerly anticipating the Pokemon Direct. It's coming up somewhat soonish. What, today's the 9th, so 13 days, so a little less than 2 weeks, because I think it's on the 22nd. So I don't expect Gen 10. I kind of don't want to hear about Gen 10 yet. I mean, I say that, but it's like, if they revealed, like, the starters and stuff, I would go bananas. So, honestly, though, the past couple starters, I haven't been, like, too blown away by. I mean, like, for the most part, because the Gen 9 starters, when I first saw them, I'm like, oh, I don't really like any of these. Like, I mean, like, I was, like, kind of interested in Sprigatito, but I'm like, okay, like, please don't, like, stand up on 2 legs. And then it stood up on 2 legs. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. But then I ended up really liking Skeledirge. So I was surprised. I'm pretty happy about that. But Gen 8 was just, like, I guess kind of a different scenario entirely, where they revealed the Gen 8 starters. And I'm like, wow, like, I like all of these. Like, I'm like, Scorbunny's pretty cool. Like, I think it was, like, my least favorite, but I'm like, Grookey's cute and Sobble's, like, cool. I think Sobble was my front runner for the longest time. And then a little bit before the game came out, I think, like, the evolutions leaked, and I'm like, wow, like, I don't really like any of these. And even to this day, like, I don't. I picked Grookey, but, like, overall, I think it's my least favorite starter trio, no matter what forms you take into consideration. Like, it's just, like, I guess Gen 8 kind of really disappointed me on that front. But I understand that at the same time, it's like, they're, for all, like, the people like me who don't really care for the Gen 8 starters, there are people who see them as their favorite. I had a similar, I mean, I'll say this, I think Gen 7's is just fantastic, genuinely. All 3 of them are great. When they were first revealed, I was actually a huge fan of Poplio. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, Poplio I think is going to be my guy. And then it turned out to be Linton, because it turned into Incineroar, which I know a lot of people were disappointed by. But at the time, and I still kind of am a little bit, but at the time I was huge into like professional wrestling. So it was like, it was the perfect kind of Pokemon for me. And I really enjoyed using it. Am I gonna want to scroll up here? Is there more I could get out of it? Okay. There's like a little bit of detailing I could do here. I know this track isn't what I'm about to say it sounds like, but like this track kind of sounds like I think the desert from Hoenn to me. I could be wrong, but okay, so where I am up here. Okay. And then also like when the Ultra games came out, I pretty much knew definitively that I was gonna pick the Decidueye, because I like Primarina, but it's not for me. But I think that Gen 7 has one of the most solid starter trios, like probably top 3 starter trios for me, like right next to Kanto and Sinnoh. It's kind of funny because over the years, I think I've soured on the Hoenn ones a little bit, to where like I kind of look at them and I'm like, huh, like I don't really love any of them. I don't hate any of them either. Like I don't think any of them are bad. Like it's nowhere like close to kind of compared to Gen 8 for me. But no, Hoenn just doesn't have any ones that I super resonate with. Although I will say with Hoenn is I think at this point my favorite is Swampert. Could be wrong. It might be Sceptile. I don't know. But I think it's Swampert, which if that is the case, at some point in time, all 3 of them have been my favorite. Which I think has not been the case for any other starter trio. Maybe Kanto, but I don't think Blastoise has ever been my favorite. Where's this go? Is this... Okay, this next one should be the top. And that's 4 across, cool. But yeah. And then I guess speaking of kind of starter trios that I've soured on, Gen 6. Well, I can't say I soured on it, but Gen 6 is another one where I never felt like I super identified with any of them. I've always considered my favorite to be Chestnut, but like I don't love Chestnut. It's like it's kind of a weird identity crisis for me in a way, because they're like based off of like the typical RPG classes, and like I typically like playing like fast, faster characters, and obviously people say that Greninja is based off of a rogue, so it's like why, like, how could I not love that? But at the same time, like I like kind of like Greninja, but like I don't know, part of me also doesn't like it. It's weird because like I really like frogs. I like rogues, obviously. But it's just that like something about the design I just don't really like. I don't know if it's the tongue. It probably is the tongue, honestly. Like the tongue scarf, it probably is for a lot of people. I say a lot of people as if it wasn't like seen as like the most popular Pokemon ever for years on end. But yeah, like I don't know if I consider Greninja or Chestnut to be my favorite of the trio. Sorry, Delphox, but not really my thing. I don't hate Delphox though. It's just probably lower on my on I guess like my opinions. Okay, that should be okay. Let's fill in this glove. Is it? I want to know. I could be wrong, but are these actual gloves? Is it wearing gloves, or are these just its fists? I'm pretty sure these are just its fists. I mean, I guess at this point I basically talked about most of the starter trio, so I may as well finish it off. Well, I talked a little bit about Gen 1, and I've also talked about Gen 1 in my video. I'll save my thoughts on Gen 2 because I'm going to be covering that very soon. What else is there? I talked about Gen 3. I talked a little bit about Gen 4. I just said that Gen 4 was like top, like one of the best. I'll say this, I think Chimchar is the weakest out of the 3. I'm just not a huge fan of monkeys, but like it's still like pretty good. I've used it at least once. But I think Torterra and Empoleon are just fantastic. Oh, come on, I did it again. Every single time I break a piece of glass, I like stop for a second and I'm like, what am I about to do? And then I just do it. And it's like, I knew, like, why didn't I don't know. I don't know how, like, I don't stop myself sometimes with it. But, oh, Gen 5? Gen 5, I think, is kind of just middle of the road for me. I think Superior is really cool. Superior, I don't know how you say it. But Samurott is like, Samurott's always been my number 3. I don't think it is anymore. I think that's Emboar now. But it's just like, I don't care too much for Samurott or Emboar. I don't have like, oh, that's actually supposed to be brown. I don't have like super strong opinions on them. And then I think that's all of them. I mean, I guess I could talk about Legends Arceus for a second. The new evolutions that all the Pokemon got, I think I've gone back and forth on whether or not I like Decidueyes more. I like the color scheme more, but the typing and the... I don't know. I go back and forth on it, because I like the ghost typing way more. But at the same time, I think, like, the Hisuian one, like, looks cooler. So, I really don't know. Oh, they're supposed to be brown here and then orange here? Okay, cool. Hisuian Samurott I think is pretty cool, but my issue with it is that anytime I've seen it, it looks tiny. So it just kind of takes away, like, the menacing aspect for me, which I feel like is supposed to be, like, it's supposed to be, like, the most menacing of the 3. And then Typhlosion, like, I don't know, like, I think I like the original more. I just, like, I should really like a fire ghost type, because I like ghost types, but it just, like, it's kind of whatever for me. It's so weird, because before Gen 9, we didn't really have a lot of grass ghosts. Or, I'm sorry, not grass ghosts, fire ghost types. And then, like, the only one was really, like, Chandelure. And then Gen 9 came around, and we got Ceruledge, we got Skeledirge. I guess before Gen 9, like, right before, was Hisuian Typhlosion. But it's like, now I feel like we just have so many. And some of them I think work well. I'm honestly, the only one I really don't care for that much is Typhlosion. So. This goes up by 3, I guess? Okay. So I actually did get a chance to play the newest Minecraft update. Where I tried to get a Happy Ghast. And funnily enough, I wanted to find one instead of like crafting it. And that ended up not happening because I ended up exploring my nether for a while. It was like pre-generated like a couple updates ago, but I hadn't explored it too much. So I explored it like quite a bit. I looked for probably like, I don't know, an hour or two and did nothing. I couldn't even find this like a soul biome. It was nothing but like, it was everything else but that, like basalt, crimson forest, warp forest, everything except what I wanted. So it basically, the session kind of amounted to nothing really because I didn't get to experience anything new, but it is what it is. That just happens with Minecraft sometimes, especially when you play in like older worlds. I guess that kind of is one problem with Minecraft as it gets more and more stuff. It's harder to play with that new stuff, especially if it involves world generation, because you have to like actively seek it out, and even then, if they don't implement an intuitive way to experience that new content, it's going to be hard. Like, I still haven't been in a trial chamber. I know you can get a map for it, but it's just like, I haven't stumbled upon one. I don't know if you really can stumble upon them. Like, I guess you can stumble upon anything, but like, I know that's one thing that you really kind of have to look out for. I think at this point it's just filling in. Yeah. So, yeah. It is kind of weird. I mean, like, I plan on doing a video on Minecraft eventually. I don't know when. It's probably years down the line, just because, like, I don't feel like I'm ever going to feel comfortable enough to talk about Minecraft. Well, I'm eventually going to, but, like, I would like to wait for all games that I talk about to be, like, finished before I, like, talk about them. But it's like, with a game like Minecraft, and there are probably other exceptions too, where it's like, this game is probably going to be updated forever or close to ever. So at some point I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it anyway. But, like, I love that the game is constantly getting new content, and there's nothing bad about that at all. But, like, and it's probably nostalgia talking, like, it almost certainly is, but it's like, it definitely doesn't carry the same kind of, like, fun factor and, like, I guess, like, wonder that it used to, which I don't really think is the game's fault. But yeah, it's just, it's kind of weird. Like, Minecraft should be, like, basically, like, the perfect game in a way, in a lot of ways for me, but it just, like, isn't. And I think eventually when I do a video, I'm gonna have to find a way to put that into words. But regardless, that is Primeape. I think it looks pretty good. I like that it doesn't really blend in with the background. I actually think the background complements it quite well. Yeah, so I think from there, we will move right on to Growlithe. Okay, so Growlithe should be smaller. It should be relatively simple. Starting in the bottom left corner, 2 up from the bottom. Just making sure that I have that on lock. Not a lot. Well, I mean, I said not a lot of orange. There's actually a decent amount of orange, but it's very much like accent pieces in this. Yeah. I'm gonna try a more zoomed out view for this one. Because it's a smaller Pokemon, so I feel like I might be able to swing that. Just because I feel bad having to move my view and, like, pause the game and everything. I don't want that to be, like, disorienting or anything for anyone. And this is just all filled in with brown. And we're working up from here. So I did not make any discoveries about using a Growlithe or Arcanine that I did not know about. Because I'm pretty sure the only instance of me actually using an Arcanine is in my red playthrough. Oh, wow. Earlier I'm like, yeah, like I said, what was the 6th Pokemon I said? Or maybe I didn't even say a 6th. I said maybe there was one more I can remember. Arcanine, that was the last one. Kind of ironic. But either way, I hate to say it, but maybe that's, if, the whole Machamp, if I knew about the Machamp thing beforehand. Arcanine very possibly could have been the Pokemon that got the axe. Because it's like when I do these playthroughs for, like, my videos, I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to experience the game like the way I want to, so it's like I'm not making these teams to like be like ultra mega efficient to get through the game like as well as possible. And I think that like choice might be evident in later playthroughs, probably as early as like my Heart Gold Soul Silver playthroughs. But like I want to use Pokemon that I want to use. Oh, I just realized I can't see my chat again. I want to use Pokemon that I'm like interested in using, whether I've used them before or not. So you know, sometimes I might skip over stronger ones, and other times I might like specifically go for like weaker ones. Like I've always wanted to use a Cherim. That's gonna suck when I try to get it because of the whole honey tree thing, but I want to use it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I think Growlithe has always kind of been seen as like one of the more popular fire types, and it's kind of never hit that mark for me. I've never been like the biggest fan of fire types, but I know a lot of people. I should say I know people who do really like the fire type and may even consider it their favorite. That also happen to love Arcanine. But I don't have any problem with it. I think I prefer Ninetales, but I probably prefer Arcanine over Ponyta. And I'd probably also use it over Magmar. Probably would not use it over Charizard, but that's so simply said. But then it's like, well, Charizard, you know, you pick your starter, and it's like Charizard's my number 3 in terms of Kanto starters. So that kind of raises Arcanine stock a bit. So it's, I guess, in conclusion, it's I was gonna say my second favorite fire type in Kanto, but Flareon exists, so probably my third. Which I find kind of funny, like the longest time I didn't care for Flareon, and I even kind of like I had always heard of like what other people thought. I do have to just like scroll up a tiny bit. Like people always said that it was like really bad, especially in like competitive and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this thing kind of sucks. Like it doesn't get good fire moves. It's a physical attacker, but you know, mainly gets special moves, blah blah blah, whatever. But then I got a cat that I named Nova, and I don't know what it is, but I just associate her with Flareon, and it's made me like Flareon more. Is this brown? I think this is brown, actually. Okay, yeah, that still goes 3. So yeah, and since then, like, I've only ever used Flareon in a single playthrough, that being my playthrough of Let's Go Eevee. But I will say this, something I can remember, like, I've talked about, like, not remembering a lot of things from my playthroughs. I remember being impressed by how bulky it is. Specifically, I remember facing, I think it was Blue in, like, the gym leader, like, rematches. And, like, I think it was able to take an Earthquake from a Tauros when, like, everyone else on my team got, like, one shot by it. Which, like, keep in mind, like, that's, you know, a super effective Earthquake from a physical attacker. Like, granted, it's not stab, but it's, like, it's doing a lot. So I just remember being really impressed by that. And, I mean, like, its move pool wasn't bad either. I don't think it was anything to write home about, personally, but... like, I don't think it was bad as, like, people give it credit for. Although, granted, I'm saying that about Gen 7 Flareon and not, you know, like, Gen 4 or Gen 2. You know, like, earlier Gen Flareons. Okay, so this goes down. This is, like... Why is this 5? This is not supposed to be 5. Maybe I should zoom in my view because I'm kind of done straining my eyes. I apologize if I pause and change my view a lot, but okay, let's take a look at this. Is there any inherent problem here? This goes up here, and then this should only be 4. I don't think this presents any issues because I haven't done anything with this, and I haven't like built off of this. Oh, this is like some of the most zoomed in I've ever been, actually. That's a 3 gap. From here, it's a 3 gap. And that's supposed to be like that. This is 2. And this should be 4. No, this is actually way more than that. But the 4th is supposed to be right here. So something's going on here. Let me make sure I'm good. Okay. 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 4 here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. At this point, nothing else really matters because everything else is below. This is lined up with this. That's correct. And then, yeah, it goes up like that. Okay. I do... Does that mean I messed something up over here, though? This goes up brown, black, 3 black. Scroll up my view. Okay, 2 there, 3. 2 diagonal, another one right here. Then black right there. Brown, black, brown, black, brown. So this is the top. Goes down, down, down. Down 2. Goes up. Then down 3. Aha! Right here. Okay. So this little part right here is wrong. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm actually really glad that there was the... I actually like put 5 on this one incorrectly because otherwise I feel like I would not have noticed the mistake at this moment. Either that or I would have just because like I knew something was going to be off there, or like I could see that something was off there, but yeah. So that's 5 across. This is 3, then 4, then 4 again, then 3, and then 2. And that should be right. Because this should line up at the bottom of that, which it does. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 here. 2 across. 3 across. Then it comes out 5, and then we got 3 here. Okay. And then we got another 5 right here. 2 right there. Brown. And this kind of serves as a border. Have I done... Okay, let's do the rest of the face before I move on to other areas. Okay. Let's just honestly fill in what needs to be filled in. So that's like that. Okay. This is 4. Okay. Oh, something I wanted to mention. I mentioned this in my my post, my community post that I made yesterday about when I was going to stream. The last couple VODs from the streams have gotten like more views than I kind of expected. So I'm very grateful for that. So thank you everyone so much for watching, whether you're new to the channel or not, whether you watch this or not. I just really appreciate anytime anyone watches either any of my videos or any of my VODs. Yeah, I don't really know much else to say besides that. But thank you all again. This is another Pokemon where like you just look at, like you're looking at it close up and the eyes just look so odd. I feel like though that's like the case for most Pokemon until you get into like the probably like Gen 4, Gen 5. Okay, and this is all brown. Yeah, this is just all brown. I was really surprised to find that Growlithe used this color scheme because I would not have expected it to. Okay, 2 there. 1, 2, 3. I really expected it to use the same one as Arcanine. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, I'm using the wrong color there. This is brown. Oops. Okay, and then this in here is all different colors. This is black. This is brown. Is this just all white? Yeah, this is all white. What's this? Is this brown? Yeah, this is brown. This tucks in. Okay, and this, I guess this goes all the way down over here, but, you know, dude does not really have much of a body at this point. Well, let's fix that. Let's actually, we're going to get started on the tail up here first. So this is brown. This is brown. Okay, so black and brown. Brown and black. Black and brown. Black and brown. Oops. I say the colors, but I'm not actually looking at them. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn off the subtitles. They've been on this whole time, because I turned them back on when I was, like, playing survival, and forgot to turn them off. And then 2 down from here, and then, how far does that go? That goes 6. It goes like that. 1 more like that. And then 3 across. Okay, cool. And then this in here is mostly white, but I'm gonna fill in all the non-white first. That goes like that. Over 1, kind of a diagonal M. Is that black? I think that is. Okay, that's black. That's not brown. And then I think orange is just here and below. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's the tail. That's pretty much like most of the white. And then now I can start working my way down, which there's not too much to do here. Well, actually, we'll start from over here. Oh, what song is this? This is Mario Galaxy. I did not expect this song to be in Mario Kart. I will mention I have not played Mario Kart in like a couple weeks at this point. I probably will again at some point. But Mario Kart's just kind of one of those games where it's like it's not going to be a thing I play regularly. Like if I'm in the mood to play it, I'll play it. But if I'm not in the mood to play it, like I will like I am not going to try to make myself. And this goes up like that. But I will say though, the soundtrack for this game, it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. It's brown there. Okay. So now that's Well, that's mostly sectioned off. And then let's work this out right here. Stuff like that, or is it just 2? I think it's just 2. Yeah, okay, because that's lined up with that. And then I'll fill in this part down here. And then I got that filled in. You know what, we'll just fill in the whole thing. Oops. Okay, so that's like it's, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. Fill in the foot. And then besides this, it's like the hind leg and then the rest of the body. Is this just all black? I guess it's just all black. Yeah, okay. And this comes up here. And this goes up 1. Is this just a full? I think it's a full 4, and then that goes up 1. Yeah. Then down 1 from there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then how many is that? 5. 1. Oops, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got a 3x3. And then a tiny stair. And it should generally line up with that. That goes up 2. Brown there. Okay. So that's all of the outline. And I think the rest is just brown. So we could fill in at this point. So, also like I mentioned in the post, this is the last of the 2-stage evolution gauntlet, as I've been calling it. What's supposed to be here? Where is this? This is up here. Just gotta oh, this is actually supposed to be empty. But yeah, it started what, like a month ago now with was it the Paris line? I think it was the Paris line. And then we did the Venomoth. Was it Venomoth Diglett? Yeah, I think Venomoth Diglett, and then Meowth, Psyduck, and now Mankey Growlithe. Granted, there are still other 2-stage, but it's gonna be broken up a lot more by either single stage or 3-stage. Either way, that is Growlithe completed. 3 out of 4 for this stream. And now we are going to be tackling what will probably be the most, like the biggest one and most time-consuming of the stream, Arcanine. Let me pull up Arcanine so that you guys can see what we're dealing with here. Pokemon number 59. Here it is on screen. Okay, we're starting in the bottom left. I can get these things into my inner inventory at this point. It's going to be a lot more vibrant, which I don't think I'm going to be used to. Also a lot busier, just because it has like, its fur is like supposed to kind of reflect flames. So, yeah. But we're starting in the bottom right. How many is that? Is that 7? 5, 6, 7. 3, 2. I'm going to do my best, try not to mess up anything on this, because I feel like if I made a mistake on Arcanine, it'd be like, I don't know, like I feel like it'd be more costly just because of how much bigger it is. But it's kind of nice to see red. We haven't seen red in a little while. I think the last time we did see red in any capacity was when we worked on the Jigglypuff and Clefable lines. But even then, I think that was like a red concrete powder instead of just a regular concrete. What's this actually? Like this? Yeah, okay. It looks slightly awkward, but it's supposed to look awkward, I guess. I think Arcanine does have one of the better sprites in yellow. Like, actually, it looks pretty good. And definitely an upgrade over what it had, because before this, it had the sprite where it was kind of like laying down, or not like laying, it was like sitting in almost like a begging position, I guess. So yeah, I think this captures its kind of essence a lot better. So this I don't think is filled in, or this is red, right? Like this? No. What am I doing here? I filled that in. 3 rows, that's 4. That goes up 2. This should line up with this, which it does. So yeah, that's correct. The red, okay, that's the reason why, because I thought the red started way sooner than it actually does. This goes an extra 2 out up here, actually 2 out up here as well, and then over 1. Surrounds the red, up 2. And then we'll just start working up over here. So yes, I did use Arcanine in my playthrough of Red for my channel. And I mean, considering that it was like the one Pokemon I forgot in my lineup, like I know this is my go-to, but I can't really remember much about it. I probably stayed a Growlithe for the longest time until it eventually got Flamethrower. Even if it did get Flamethrower, it may have gotten Fire Blast instead. I don't know. It's actually, I'm trying to remember. In Red and Blue, is that where you can get like the Thunderbolt and Flamethrower from Celadon, like from the vending machine, or maybe not? I don't remember. If you can, then that's probably where I evolved it. Otherwise, you know, I don't know. But thinking about it, like, I don't think, like, fire isn't anything too amazing in Kanto. So that's probably why I don't remember it super well. Like, I mean, fire does really good against Erica, which I think I did have. Yeah, I definitely did have Growlithe for. But, like, besides that, you know, like, Steel doesn't exist yet. And then, like, most of the ice types are all water type. Okay, the white just goes up against here. So it's like, what? Oh, bug? Yeah, like, bugs you only see in the early game. Which by the time, like, I got to, like, you know, they were gone. I mean, like, I guess there's Sabrina's Venomoth, which still doesn't make sense, but... yeah, so it doesn't have a lot of uses. I mean, I think... at the same time, though, I think it's just a general, like, all-purpose kind of Pokemon. Like, I don't think it'd be bad to send out against Psychic types. I'm looking at the rest of that team, though, like, I don't think I had a particular, like, weakness to Psychic. So, I say, were any of my team members weak to Psychic? Who do I have? Blastoise, Electrode, Exeggutor, Aerodactyl, Arcanine, Arbok. Okay, Arbok was weak to Psychic. But having one Psychic weak Pokemon on a Gen 1 Cancer team, I feel like is, like, pretty decent. So, it didn't really have a niche in that aspect either, I guess. That's supposed to be right there. And that's supposed to be right there. Okay. We got some black and red. More checker pattern going on. It's always nice to see that. Let's kind of fill this in right here. I think this is all just orange. Yeah, okay. And then there's one right there as well. is some red here. Oops, I think there goes one right there. I am doing this in such an odd way. Like, I worked up towards the body and just started filling stuff in, and then now I'm back working on the other foot. But I think at this point, like, I kind of just work on every Pokemon in a different, strange way. What's going on here? That's not right. Hold on. Okay. Let's ignore this for a second, right? Like, let's even delete some of this. This all looks generally right. Because, yeah, that should be lined up with that, which it is. And it should even go, like... How many black is this? 3, 7? Yeah, 7, and then the red, and then 3. Okay. So there should be 3 black here, then 2, then 1. I'm just going to get rid of a lot of that for now. And then there's 3 red right here, 2, 1. And that lines up with that. 3 black here. That's the little thing right there. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't know what I messed up. But it's fixed now, I guess. I don't know. I really could not tell you what I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like that. Perfect. And then what's this right here? This is just all black. Okay. Okay. We're getting a little section carved out. I guess I could do this right here. This is a 3x3. And then that goes up. Bum, bum, bum. I see 3 white right here. And there's an M. Kind of an M. Oops. Like that. And then the rest of this is orange. There's some red here. The rest of this is orange. And then I'm going to change my view. I think I'm just going to go up from here. Oops. Because I feel like that's probably just better for Arcanine. Okay. So yeah, I got that. Goes like that. Basically an L that goes all the way over this time. Goes like that. 1 red here, and also 1 red there. This is just filled in. Yeah, Arcanine has like a lot of like spots and stuff. Okay. So I can't really see below that, but that's perfectly fine. And then this is like all red for like quite a while, honestly. Because this is like the main part of the body. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe. But I'm not going to go much further than that part right now, just because I don't know for 100% that that's like that. Okay. This is surrounded by red. 4 black right here. Kind of goes like a staircase in a way. And this is just all filled in there, excuse me. And then that comes in there. Goes up like that. That's like that. Okay. And then this is just all black. That's lined with some orange. Oops, that's the wrong color. And Let's see if I can kind of connect where I did the 7 over here once I do this. Oops. Okay. Okay, so this goes down here. We got a red there, and that just kind of goes like that. 3 black. Bam, and then like that. Yeah, okay, so actually something's not right here. This is at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it was 6, not 7. So it's like that instead. And that's why I confirmed it. I'm proud of myself for that one. And this is just all red. Not like there's that much to fill in. But let's do part of like the back of the head here since I'm already kind of working on it. I can't see much beyond this though. Kind of a funky pattern right here, like a big T. And then all orange right here. So nothing but orange. And then this at least goes until it connects with here. One, 2, 3, 4. And then red that mostly alternates with black. Red there, and now I can start working my way down. Okay, red and black. Then they're on the same level. And then like that. Perfect. And then funnily enough, where I have this orange cut off, it's just cut off anyway. But there's some orange up here that I will fill in. And that goes 4, and then that's perfect. Cool. Let's fill in this white. And then, what's up here? Okay, this is just all white. Cool. Yeah, so I think overall having a zoomed in view, while I have to move my view a decent amount, like I think it's a necessary evil just because otherwise I could make huge mistakes. Okay, let's move my view up. Let's try to finish off Arcanine's head. Okay. That goes like that because that's like one of its teeth. Surrounded by red on either side. And this goes up against the wall. Oh, Coconut Mall. Very nice. I don't even think Coconut Mall is in this game, is it? I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Okay, that's like that. Okay. Okay. Oops, that's supposed to be white. Okay, so that's like its pupil. A little bit of orange there. Most of the rest of it though is red and black. Say that, but there's orange right here. Little square right here. And then this is like part of one of the ears. And that comes down here. A little bit of orange. So that is red. Okay, so you can kind of see like its eye taking shape right there. Got some orange up here. I think 5. Yeah, it goes up like a pyramid. We have a lot of alternating orange, red, and black. Mainly red and black, though. And then that goes down to just right there. Okay. I guess this is just like the top of the head. This right here was the peak. Okay. One, two, three. One. You can see a little bit of that right there. Okay, yeah. And it's connected by red. Like that. Cool. And then it's kind of blocked off. You got other parts right here too. Okay. So let's see. We got some more orange. I was gonna start filling in with white, but I want to do all the orange parts first, which I've almost done. Small L there. We got the corner there. And then that's orange. And then this goes one past the red. Okay. This is all white. And anything I haven't filled on the face is white as well. Okay, and then said all this is white. Okay, and then this is, yeah, this is white too. Is this filled in? Where am I looking? Oops. Okay, no, I know where I'm looking, and that's not filled in. I actually did not mean to click there. Alright, so the front part of Arcanine's done. This is probably the closest I'll like come, at least for now, to doing like things like row by row. It's so funny how it's like you just kind of like, if I go like over here and right to about here, and it just looks like it's done. But God, I'm so easily amused. Okay, where am I starting from? Okay. So we got its tail, which is pretty big. Oops. Oops. Oh, I'm messing everything up. Okay. So we already hit the peak of the tail. Okay, yeah, that's correct. And then let's go over it just a little bit more. This should be at most one away from the wall, which it is. Never mind. Actually, it does go up against the wall, but I can't see anything below that. Okay, so let's do this then. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange, 3 right here, 2, and then 2 up, and 1 right there as well. 2 right there, 2 right there, 2 right there. It's like a motorcycle going by or something. And then red, and then a bunch of black until right here comes red again. then we got that. 4 across, 4 across. This goes up diagonally a little bit. Where am I looking here? This is 4. And then 3. And then that goes up, and then this just goes over. Red and then black, and that just connects it there nicely. And this is just all filled in with red. 3 there, 2 there, and then red. Can't see anything beyond that, but that's perfectly fine. Orange here. Comes up a little bit. 2, 3. And then, yeah, it's just like that. Cool. All this is orange. And then everything on the outside of it is white. So I may as well fill that in. In hindsight, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done more stone evolutions. Like, Gen 1, they went, like, really hard on it. Like, I think every, like, mainly every grass, every grass, water, and fire type, like, they each have, like, 2 stone evolutions each, which I think some of them even exceed that. Like, I think water might have, like, 3 or something, I don't know. Or actually, I think they at least each have 3, because the evolutions exist, and then there's Vileplume, Victory Bell, Arcanine, Ninetales, and then there's Starmie and Cloyster, and I don't know if those are the only 2 stone evolutions. So, what are the electric ones? Is it just Jolteon and Raichu? Because Magnemite and Magneton is not one. I think Electrode is also level? I don't know if I'm forgetting an electric type. Okay, so that's the tail. Let's move my view down a bit. Okay. Wow, this is super busy in here. So we got red right there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That kind of goes up. That's like a little L. There's a T here. Actually, more like a J. Okay. And then this kind of comes out here this way. Goes right up against the wall, which will never not be a bit uncomfortable. Oops, and an L there. That's 4. Oops. I'm doing a lot of misplaced blocks this time, so bear with me. I think that goes on the outside a little bit. That's orange. This is orange, and this just fills in right there. This is all orange, so I may as well do that. Okay, and then right below the J is white. There's not a lot of that, but there's some over here, I guess. A little bit of orange here and here. Excuse me. And then this goes all the way over. This goes even further. 1, 2, 3. And this is kind of like a 1 right here. And red right there. This does come up here. That should be 1 away from that, which it is. I'm just going gonna make this go all the way over because that's how it's supposed to be. I may as well start doing this part right here since I'm already working on it. Shouldn't be too involved. There's black there. This surrounds this. This comes up 2, 4. This is 4. This comes out an extra 4. Extra 3. Comes in 1. So yeah. And then there actually is like one more black stripe that does start up here. This is 4 and then 4 black and down 1. So this is all red. This kind of goes around this. And that's 3. I believe all this is just black. This sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is. I feel like it's like the end of 3D World or something like that. And then that just fills in like that. Cool. This is just all orange. And then now, honestly, I think there's not much left. We got some black and red. I think we're actually like, there's like a single orange block that has to be placed, which is right here. I think that's it. And then some black. Then some more black there. This is just... Is this all red? No, okay, there's actually more orange. That's my bad. Wait. Okay, that goes there. There's 1 there. Got it. There's actually a decent amount more. Yeah, okay, because orange goes all the way across here and then all the way across here. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 2 there. Okay, and the rest is just red. And ladies and gentlemen, if I'm correct, which I believe I am, that is Arcanine. And honestly, I think that looks pretty amazing. I think I mentioned this when I started Arcanine, but like Arcanine is like one of the best looking sprites in yellow in my opinion. I'm not even the biggest fan of Arcanine itself, but the colors, like Arcanine is definitely like a Pokemon where like yellow did very well with its color scheme. Like the 4 colors work so well for it. So I think you got a combination of good color scheme and good just design. And I don't know if there's really any other Pokemon right now that I could really like compare. Because like the Arbok one looks really good, but like the colors, I don't know. I don't think it needed 2 purples. I think Butterfree looks good. I don't know why it's blue. Blastoise looks good. It's just 2 blue. Yeah. I mean, like, Pikachu's looks good, I guess, but it's not like anything interesting. So, yeah. That is Arcanine, and that is also the end of the 2-stage gauntlet. Look at all that, from Paris all the way to Arcanine. Almost 2 full rows of 2 stages. And honestly, you could consider it even longer than that if, because besides the Vileplume line, before that was another 4 2-stage evolutions. But with that, next time, I'm very excited for this, is going to be the Poliwag line. And then we have a bunch more 3-stage after that, being Abra, Machop, Bellsprout. We do get it broken up by the Tentacle line, and then the Geodude line. So three of the 4 trait evolutions coming up. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Regardless, thank you all so much for joining me. Whether you were looking in the live stream or you decide to watch the VOD. I will post on Tuesday with the next time I will be live. It will be more than likely Wednesday, but you never know. Things are subject to change. I will say, more likely than not, after next week's stream, like after I do the Poliwag line, I will likely take a break from streaming to focus more heavily on getting the gold and silver video out. Because it's not going to be out. It's not going to be out in like the next 2 weeks or anything. So yeah, after next stream, I'm going to laser focus on that. With all that said, thanks again, and I hope to see you again